You are all welcome to Ordinary People Show. 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 You are all welcome to Ordinary People Show.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're listening from in the world. My name is Jacqueline Dixon, and you're tuned in to the Ordinary People Show. Ordinary people can do extraordinary things. We're broadcasting live from Toronto, Canada, powered by GBKM FM TV network. We're in studio this Saturday morning, and we're excited because guess what? It's election season, and it's getting hot in the GTA. Why? Because all of the candidates are out, they're knocking doors, they're pounding the pavements, and they're trying to get their last minute message into the constituents, especially right here in the Humber River Black Creek community. As you know, it's been a whirlwind week here in the Humber River Black Creek, and today's show is going to be nothing less than another hit right out the park. Why? Because we're going to be talking everything elections, federal elections for 2019. It's happening right here, right now on the Ordinary People Show. But before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, let me start with my pleasantries as I always do. We first of all want to thank our sponsors for giving us the opportunity to be on air today. We want to thank our number one sponsor, which is Blue Flame Heating, Cooling, and Mechanical. Blue Flame Heating, Cooling, and Mechanical specializes in all of your heating and cooling needs. They're located right here in the GTA. They specialize in hot water tanks, furnaces, air conditioning, gas fitting, and so much more. They operate 24 hours a day, providing residential as well as commercial services. Give the CEO himself a call, Mr. Neville Hall, and he can be reached at 647-881-5111. That's 647-881-5111. And don't forget to tell him that you heard about him on the Ordinary People Show so that you can receive your additional 10% in discounts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've had the type of week that I've had, but man, we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it all down right here today on the Ordinary People Show because I've had a week that one doesn't forget very easily. And a lot of you out there know why. Why? Because GBKM FM TV network, which has been established for some 6 years now, we're located right in the heart of the Humber River Black Creek community. Our job, one of our responsibilities, of course, at GBKM FM, is to ensure that we provide unfiltered, unedited news for covering all of the local issues that surround the Humber River Black Creek residents. And we're known as the mouthpiece of the community. One of the reasons why is because we're out there. We're out there challenging what is taking place. We challenge the status quo. We're covering events from local business events to federal election activities, municipal election, as well as provincial. We've covered all of the three major elections that have taken place in the last few years, and we're going to continue to do so and provide you with the information that you need in order to make an educated decision when you go to the polls. So we're talking about the polls. What's happening with the polls? Well, guess what? Early voting has started for this year's federal election. And for those of you who are unsure as to where you can go to cast your early ballot, all you simply need to go to do is go to electionscanada.ca, and when you go on the website, there is an opportunity to plug in your postal code, and that will allow you to determine where your early voting polling stations are so that you can cast your ballot for whatever party you feel is going to be best to represent you and the issues that you're concerned about for you and your family. So don't forget, we're going to provide that information again later on in the show as well. Again, early voting locations are open. They opened yesterday, and a lot of people are casting their ballot. I suspect that we're going to have a record-breaking turnout this year, which is awesome. It's so good for us. It's so good to know that we're engaged and we're paying attention. And kudos to those who have already voted. We're headed out to vote right after the show, so I'll make sure to show you my I voted card next week, and as we watch this race unravel. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back to start. You probably noticed, I don't know if you've noticed that maybe our producer hasn't done it yet, but today's show is going to be quite interesting. We've got a number of guests lined up for today's show, as well as we're going to be giving a number of our listeners and viewers the opportunity to call in as well for commentary. And you can comment on a number of different topics that we'll be discussing today. We're going to be, of course, discussing the federal election, the results. We're going to be talking about, yeah, of course, you know what, the viral video that went out on blackface that GBKM was responsible for, as well as we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship and what it means to a number of the constituents in the Humber River Black Creek as well. Some interesting callers are lined up to share their opinions with you today. I'm excited. The PC candidate for the Humber River Black Creek, which is Iftikhar Chowdhury, could not be in studio with us this morning, unfortunately, and he's called in to let us know that he will plan to reschedule his interview with us, and sometime within the next 2 weeks, of course, prior to the actual elections taking place, because that's the only opportunity that he's going to have in order to do so, in order to make an impact here in our studios in the same manner that Judy Scrow, the Honorable Judy Scrow, as well as Maria Ajumeri did as well, so gracefully. We thank both of them for attending the GBKM studios to share their perspective and their vision for the Humber River Black Creek. And that opportunity still has been extended to Iftikhar Chowdhury so that he can show up and share his vision as well as a member of the PC party. I think it would be very important for him to ensure that he does so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our first commercial break, and we're going to be right back. The fun is just getting started, guys. It's going to get hot in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Like and share the video if you're watching it live. Hello to you. Maybe you're watching it on demand. Then certainly still like and share, of course. Get it out to as many people as possible so that they can know that what happens here at GBKM is unfiltered coverage of the federal elections for 2019, direct from us to you, and we're so happy to be able to have the opportunity to do that. We're going to be right back after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up your seatbelts. This ride's going to start real fast. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching The Ordinary People Show. My name is Jacqueline Dixon. We'll be right back after this break.
ICT education, solid minerals, healthcare, and infrastructure. Several corporations and stakeholders from the emerging markets and developed world, as well as government officials of both countries, are expected to participate at this event. Register now at canisc.ca. Are you ready for Canis 2019, taking place from October 9th through 12th in Toronto, Canada? The Canada-Nigeria Business and Investment Summit will take place at the Radisson Admiral Hotel in downtown Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The theme is Nigeria as an emerging trade and investment market.
Welcome back to the Ordinary People Show. My name is Jacqueline Dixon. I'm your host. Thank you so much for joining us today. And fantastic Saturday in the GTA. I know everyone's excited. It's what? It's election time.
And I'm back again. I'm back again on this show.
Yeah, you are. You, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome my first guest for the day, which, as you all probably know, is our one and only president and CEO, Mr. Kenny Bass. And he's joining me today for a little time to share with us his thoughts on the week that we've had, the Whirlwind Week. What kind of a week have you had?
It was amazing.
Unbelievable.
First of all, I want to say good job, Jacqueline. Your show has actually frozen the media for the whole entire day.
Wow, we shut it down.
Yeah, but it took like 10 days before it got to the mainstream.
Yeah.
That's how hard it is for unique message to get into the media. This is why we are very connected to the grassroots, because we hear from the grassroots. You see how it took 10 days for the cry of the grassroots to get to the mainstream, and that's where we come in. And I must not take away from, I have to compliment you for a great job, great interview you've done. But I just want to quickly use this opportunity to say that, Ordinary People Show is a great show. At GBK FM as a platform, we are very neutral. Everybody
Absolutely,
is
we are.
welcome to say their opinion. We don't take part in anything.
No.
This is a platform
We're nonpartisan.
created for you all, for us to air our minds. So everybody is welcome to say we're non-partisan. That's the right word to say.
Yeah,
but
for
thank
sure.
you for having me back on your
For
show
sure,
today.
no problem. So listen, I want to get your opinion or your thoughts on a couple things. But before we do that, maybe you could even share with the listeners. We've had one heck of a summer here, with GBCAM. Like we've just been everywhere, and we've covered so many events in the community, whether it's grand openings for so many new businesses that have joined or come into the Humber River Black Creek community. We celebrate all of them. We were there for quite a few of them in their grand openings. We were there
we are about crossing into 70 years of GBK FM.
Yeah.
But I must tell you, this summer is one of the
busiest
summer that we ever had. But that's because the community started to understand that we are for them, we are together. And
Right.
I would say that after a while, people start to see that this is a valid and a credible platform. Like we said, we are the mouthpiece.
We're the mouthpiece,
So
yeah.
after a while, people start to understand what we stand for, that we are all in it together.
That's
Be
right.
it the voters, the contestants, the politicians, the everyday people, the ordinary people, just like your show says. We are for everybody. It takes a little bit while because, like they say, good stuff doesn't come easily,
No,
So
it
takes
doesn't.
a little while before it comes. But we're prepared and equipped. And I want to say shout out to all GBKFM staff, volunteers, everybody. And shout out to my homeboy, Mr. Redman. I know you're chilling at home now, not feeling too well. We love you and we miss you.
Yeah, call in today. Listen, somebody was saying that you guys have gotten obviously a lot of attention this week, but here's the truth though, it's not the first time. This is not the first. This might have been probably the largest amount of attention or the most amount of attention that we have had as a platform. Since since I've joined, but
I'm going to tell
we
you how
shut
I
it
see
down before.
I'm going to tell you how I see it.
Okay, go ahead.
While we were all celebrating and knowing that we shut it down, which I thank you all, it's all your support. The way I see it is, it's just like a sneak peek of what we are about to do.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I see that just, so you guys may say I'm cool. I'm not cool. I'm just saying it like, wow, I'm glad that you guys can have a sneak peek of what is about to happen. Because what we are trying to do, what we are going to do, what we are going to achieve is going to take our community, the local and international community by storm.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's going to carry it along because you know what? We are the mouthpiece. It's been too long, Jacqueline, that people have been saying our story. It's hard time we say our own story by ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
To be honest, it's been too long.
Sure.
We have to be able to cope with everyday people, ordinary people, rich people, politicians. There's a gap. There's a big gap between ordinary people and the elites. Mm-hmm. There's a big gap between the mainstream media and what is happening on the street on Jane and Finch. Mm-hmm. There's a big gap. We have to fill in that gap and make sure that everybody is equally fed.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, some of you people might not recognize the cap that the president is wearing. A lot of people were asking us, a lot of other media outlets were contacting us this week, and they wanted to know, what is this GBKM FM?
Yes.
What is that all about?
First of all, this is, if you look at our logo, you will see something similar to this. Shout out to my boy Coded. This is done by an African guy. Very beautiful, well
beautiful
made.
hat.
But this is Festock head.
It's a crest.
It's a crest, and it's a queen in Benin Kingdom. And this GBKM is Great Benin Kingdom. This is a queen in Benin Kingdom that is a crest, and it's called in English the Festock head. So you want to listen, Google it, Festock head, you will see what it stands for. That's why I tell people when they say Africans don't respect women, we don't let women, we sidetrack women, we put women in the kitchen. It's so wrong. If you go through the history of African and black, we have always put our women, our mothers in the front. Because there's something that a lot of people don't understand. You must pilot from behind to get what you want. For example, as you are the vice president of GBKFM, and by the way, you're doing a great job. And I respect that, I thank you for all the great job you're doing. There are sometimes you pilot from behind. Even if you think I'm the president, there are some things you do from behind, and because you're doing it from behind, I don't feel threatened, and you are able to impact the company in a positive way. But if you come to my front, we may butt head, and then it may clash. So we must understand that we all have a position, and all our position, being a woman, a man, are valid. This is a lady that took Africa by storm. Google it.
Great Benin Kingdom Media.
And shout out to Coded. Love you, bro. Check him out.
Okay, anyways, enough of that fun, enough of those shenanigans. Listen, let's get down to business, okay? Let's talk business now. Let's talk about what is happening with the federal elections 2019. As for those of you who follow me on social media, you knew that Iftikhar Chowdhury should be in studio today. And he is the PC candidate for Humber River Black Creek. He's the only candidate left to come to the GBKM studios. And I will say this much about that. We're so absolutely pleased that GBKM is recognized by all three levels of government. We have had all the members of the various different parties that are running within the Humber River Black Creek, whether it was the municipal election, the provincial election, and now the federal election. They've all come to the GBKM studios to share their vision for Humber River Black Creek, and we respect that very much because we're a nonpartisan network, and everybody has the opportunity to share. Like our page if you're watching on Facebook, or go to our YouTube channel. We just reestablished our YouTube channel because our YouTube channel had so much traffic that it blew up.
Yes, so we've just
recreated.
Us, like our channel. Please don't forget to hit the little bell. You want to be the first to know any updates, any breaking news when you're on YouTube. Also share, tell a friend to tell a friend. We can't do this without you, and all we need from you is just support us. How do you support us? Like our page, share, follow us. That's all we ask from you, and we'll keep doing what we do to bring it, the real raw news to your doorstep.
Awesome, good stuff. So, without any further ado, our phone lines have already started ringing. For those of you who are watching live, you'll probably notice that you see our call-in number to the studio is scrolling around at the bottom of the screen. Please feel free to give us a call. Be patient though, because I can already hear the lines are ringing, and we'd love to have a conversation with you about the issues that matter to you, whether it involves the federal election.
While we're talking about the federal election, right? Let's talk about, first of all, how did this news come to the mainstream?
What news? Where are we talking about?
When we talk about the blackface, the interview,
the breaking
news, the interview,
the viral video.
Now, first of all, because it's accepted doesn't mean it's correct. It took too long, in my opinion, to get to the mainstream, because the mainstream has all the tools, the manpower to extract and ascertain information as they arrive. Number one. Number two, federal election. Who do you think is going to win the federal election? Who is going to gain more seats? Who is going to lose seats? That's why the number is there. Let them all comment on that. But again, one thing that I want to say on the video that went viral. Let everybody endeavor to go on our YouTube page if you are watching on Facebook.
Yep.
Or even on Facebook,
Subscribe.
scroll down, subscribe, and go watch that video in the entirety.
Yeah.
So you can have a better idea to that. As to the impartation of this breaking news to that political party, I don't know if he's imparted it or not, but I think it's in your hands to call in and comment.
Definitely, I would say that. So let me give you a little bit of background information because we're talking about Humber River Black Creek in particular, but we're also going to span off into some other topics that are related to the federal election as well. So for those of you in the Humber River Black Creek area, I just want you to know that this is a federal electoral district in Toronto, which is where the GBCAM studios are located, by the way. We are in the heart of the Humber River Black Creek, which encompasses Jane and Finch, the famous Jane and Finch intersection.
You know, you always say that I'm the mayor.
You're the mayor, yeah.
This is my area. I'm proud of it.
He's the mayor of from Kipling to Kiel. Okay. So anyways, here. So the federal electoral district in Toronto has been represented in the House of Commons of Canada from 1867 to 1904. And since 1917. Prior to the 2015 election, the riding was known as York West. So as per the 2016 census, Humber River Black Creek is the City of Toronto riding with the highest percentage of people belonging to the Latin American community, 9.5%, okay? And South Asians are 8.9%. It's also the City of Toronto riding that has the highest percentage of people of Jamaican origin at 8.5%. And Vietnamese are at 8%. And the same also goes, it's the second largest community besides Etobicoke Centre, where Italian is the most frequent origin at 12.8%. So that's a fantastic melting pot. We've got everybody in the Black Creek Humber River community here. Like it's the most fantastic melting
so
pot.
beautiful.
You can get every kind of food. You can get porchetta on one side of the street and get jerk chicken on the other, and then pick up your empanadas on the way home. So everything, and of course, you know, that butter chicken as well. So it's a great riding to represent, and Judy Scrow has had the opportunity to represent this riding for some many years. Over 30. She celebrated her 30th year this year as a politician, representing this riding, and she was on the show a couple weeks ago, as you know, and we interviewed her about her aspirations to continue as the MP for this area. And let me say this, I checked so what happens is there aren't any hard polling numbers out, okay, for the MPs. But hold on. So they don't have poll numbers like they'd say, like they have for the federal election, 32% of people are going for the Liberals and 30% for the PC. So what they do is they mark the riding safe, toss up.
I won't even let you finish.
Okay.
In my opinion,
Okay, go ahead.
In my opinion, looking at Canadian politics and even comparing with our sister neighbor, which is the US, pool at this stage doesn't count. The reason why I don't really believe, I believe in pool, but I don't make it count. Because you see, until the election hour, anything can change.
Well, fair enough.
There could be a pool that is in my favor now, and tomorrow there is a snowstorm. And the sensational discussion is like, oh, I was in the office and I didn't fix the road, and people are dying for the snowstorm. That can change a lot. So when it comes to polling, it's good to have an idea, but until you are really voting, anything can happen.
Okay.
1 hour, 1 day in an election is like 1 week.
Yeah, the news cycle, 24-hour news cycle, it's like, it really can, it seem like a lifetime. 24 hours can be a lifetime when it comes to the political news cycle. But at the same time, We do have some calls. The phone lines are ringing,
let's see.
and it's time for us to start taking some calls. But just for those of you who are interested, they've got this writing marked as safe. What does that mean? That means that Judy Scroll's got this locked down. According to their numbers, this is a safe district or a safe riding for the Liberals. They're going to count this one in their corner as safe. Okay, let me hear your opinion on it. You've got the phone number that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. We've got some jobs numbers that came out yesterday as well. I want to talk about that. And of course, the viral video. Anybody want to comment on that? What about entrepreneurship? That played a huge role in the job numbers that came out yesterday. A lot of people are skimming over that. A lot of the political parties are trying to take credit for that. I know the Ontario PC party is trying to take credit for these job numbers that came out yesterday, but they didn't truly dissect it. So if you actually truly dissect the job numbers, you'd be surprised to see what you find. But I want to hear your opinion on the matter as well. So there is a number that is scrolling across the screen that allows you to call in and share your thoughts and opinion on any one of those topics of concern to you, whether it is the blackface viral video or it's maybe the election itself. Have you cast your vote yet? Have you actually voted? Have you cast your ballot? Early voting stations are open. They opened yesterday. And if you've cast your ballot and you want to talk to us about your choice, okay, then definitely let us know. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a call in right now. We've got a caller that is been patiently waiting. I know we probably lost a couple calls already, but listen, if we lost you, call back. Don't worry about it. We're going to be here until 1:30. So, who have we got on the line with us right now? Who have we got on the line? Nazapa Zap. Nazapa Zap. How are you? History's Mirror.
Jackie, I'm fine.
Fantastic. History's Mirror. So listen, thank you so much for joining us today on Nazapa Zap, and welcome to the Ordinary People Show.
Thank you.
Now listen, I understand that my understanding is that your call is a special call because you wanted to comment or share some information with us on a very specific topic. You know, there is a number of things that we are here to discuss today. One of them, of course, is the viral video. You saw the viral video?
Yes, I have.
Wow.
I saw. I was graced with with checking it out, and amongst other videos that have been going on during this time and day. But yeah. So what I wanted to address was basically the things surrounding the controversy and the sensitivity about what the content of the video entails.
Okay, so here's what it is, right? So this video went viral, which was just a little snippet of a full interview that took place here in the GBCAM studios, and the interview was held with Judy Scroll, which is the current incumbent for the Humber River Black Creek. But during the interview, we discussed what the controversies were that are surrounding the federal Liberal Party. And there are a number of controversies, but one of the main ones was the whole idea that the Prime Minister actually participated in some blackface, dressing. And however many years ago it was, or 20 years ago, I understand in one case. And some people are in an absolute uproar, of course. That lit Twitter on fire. And then some people are indifferent, and some people just really don't care. So what we're trying to get an understanding of today, if you can share with us, is why the outrage? What is the meaning behind the outrage of blackface? We're hoping that you can break it down for the listeners and viewers.
Absolutely. And I'm actually excited for this opportunity. Thank you. And Yes, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so what we have to understand first and foremost, that blackface is not simply just putting on black makeup on one who's not blackface. I know a lot of people feel this or think this, and it's understandable because we have not actually delved into the roots for a lot of subject matter. But for this subject matter specifically, we have to understand that there's a whole cultural phenomenon that surrounds one putting dark makeup on a non-black person's skin and face. And where that actually stems from originally is in the 1830s to mid-40s by a man by the name of Thomas Dartmouth. Now, before we start talking about Thomas, we have to address the term minstrel. So, Miss Jackie, I'm going to ask you, are you familiar with the term minstrel show?
Minstrel show? No.
Okay. All right. So, what a minstrel show was a traveling troupe of, let's say, between, could be a quartet or 5 to 6 individuals playing music.
We've got some more callers lined up. Okay.
Yes, we have more callers. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to rush you, but we do have a number of callers that are lined up. If you can go ahead, please share.
Okay. So, all right. So, if I was to condense it the best way, I would say that from Henry Dartmouth, he came up with a gimmick of going in blackface to promote his show, and for him and his troupe to get recognition. And other troops found suit as well. So how did they get recognition? It wasn't so much donning blackface with burnt cork and thickening and widening the lips. They would actually do their best impressions of the stereotypical references of black people of the day. Who could be the Sambo? Who could be the pickaninny little child? And it became a phenomenon. Now I know time is of the essence. So fast forward, Thomas actually performed for the Queen of England at one point. It was such a it got to its height in between the 1850s to the post-First World War, to the 1930s. And it was America's #1 family engagement to go to around the United States of America. Because we had the Great Depression, a lot of these troops' minstrel shows were free. So you go to small towns, and a lot of these rural areas had not even seen a black person before. And so that's why it was so damaging and condemning towards black people, because this was the visual representation of a person or acting a fool. I'm a dancer master. That's what this was towards black people. No other people in the United States, but it was an actual cultural phenomenon. People, when they did spend money, they had pamphlets, they had brochures, they had programs specializing on troops that had as many as 500 employees or more in a minstrel show. So like 2 people who are known for their acts. And people would spend their money, take their families out, children friendly, and watch people make a mockery of the black race. So now, moving forward to this modern day and age and time, yes, those days are over when it comes to that. However, if someone was to don themselves in blackface, it just shows that they come from a certain racial point of superiority. And I would just say that their mindset is like, hey, I could dress up as your people and, make a mockery of
my question here,
stereotypes.
My question here to you, Mr. Nazar, first of all, thank you for calling. If a black person paints his face as white, will it be that offensive?
Right. Of course. So I wasn't sure if you were listening to everything I was just sharing. So in that sense, thank you for that question, because I've been asked this question as a default by those who mentioned about the Wayans brothers from that not too far off movie, White Chicks, whatever it's called. And I always say this: there is no historical stigma surrounding the white race being exploited because of their cultural achievement or because of who they are as a people by blacks or any other race donning whiteface. So therefore, you cannot actually hold the two to the same. And if a black person were to do that, I think it would be just ridiculous and it would be foolish and it would be wrong. Just like anyone else would to be doing that. Doesn't matter if it's a black face, a white face, or any face. It's a wrong face to do. To actually make up yourself and objectify a whole entire race of people for your entertainment and mock them is wrong.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Wow. What a great opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. And Nazapazap, thank you for condensing. I know that it's so much more than what we can allow you to elaborate on today. But thank you so much for condensing that for us, because that's the truth of the matter. It was created in order for people to mock an entire race of people for entertainment purposes. So that's the bottom line, and I can understand why, of course, so many people would be offended, because nobody wants to be mocked, and certainly not for the purpose of entertaining, other races. So, but thank you so much for sharing that with us. We look forward to you.
The history master.
Yeah,
Mr.
the history master. We look forward to hearing more from you with maybe a special episode that you can bring to the GBKM studios on this very topic in the near future.
Okay, well, thank you guys. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Too. Thank you.
Take care.
Wow, that is.
We've
crazy.
got some crazy calls.
Yes,
the calls
yeah,
are lined
yeah,
up here.
but,
Let's move
the way
on.
He put it, I like his answer when he said that if black people paint themselves white, Now, the thing is that it's not the painting that really gets me.
Right.
What my friend will say, the brain behind. I think we have other callers.
We've got other calls. Let's take our next call.
Hi, thank you for calling GBK FM. What's your name?
Frank.
Hey, good morning, Frank, or good afternoon. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much
Where
for
you
calling.
calling from?
Toronto.
Beautiful. Go ahead, Jacqueline.
Fantastic. So, Frank, thanks for calling in today. You know that today we're opening our lines to the general public today to comment on a whole number of different topics that you can choose to comment on, whether it's the viral video with the blackface, or maybe it's the fact that you might have cast your ballot already. The early voting has already started for the federal election. Or maybe you can speak from the perspective of the new jobs report, which came out yesterday. Record-breaking jobs report, best jobs report since 2002. What's your topic of concern that you want to talk about today?
Well, the first I want to say that I like the way you handled the controversy on your show this week, like on the whole blackface thing. How you you didn't throw Jody Scroll under the bus when she was a little bit understood. You stood up for the right thing, and you handled it well, even though probably the conservatives wanted you to say another thing. So that you're my congratulations for you that you handled the situation well. So
thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. And you know what? And let's just talk about that a little bit, because he brings up a really good point. So what he's saying is that he liked the way that I handled it, or we handled it, because we didn't throw Judy Scroll under the bus.
I don't think you did. I think it was a softball, and I think the whole video needs to be watched in the entirety to form a correct opinion. Obviously, it's going to be hard for somebody to take 1 hour and watch a complete show to be able to have a complete opinion of it. But in my opinion, given the fact that I was in the studio here, I was privileged to watch the entire length. I do believe that it was a softball, and you, as we always do, we are for everybody. So, Frank, I think you're right.
Yeah, for sure. So, Frank,
it's possible too. Judy Scroll, she's been a long time MP, never marred with scandal or anything, right? I think she does a fair job for her constituents, right? So there's never no complaints, right? A person can only do what they can, right? But I think she represents...
Frank, so what do you think on this federal election? Do you think this wave that is coming, is it orange wave we call it?
Well,
what do you think about this orange wave, Frank?
Sorry?
What do you think about this election, this orange wave that has been building, that has gradually coming?
The NDP. The NDP seems to be on the rise.
Well, the NDP is on the rise, yes, but it's the first time they have someone of their own background in politics, right? So it's maybe it's a long time coming, but it's the first time, and and those people, Now, I hope I'm not saying this.
The lines are
incorrect,
charming.
but those people admired Justin's father because he did help a lot of people in or in the early days with that new wave of immigration and everything. So and Pierre Trudeau was a good man, right? Like I think history shows that. So.
Well, you know what? Thank you so much for your opinion, and thank you for being open and honest about that. And yeah, I mean, like, what can you really say about Judy Scrooge? She really hasn't been marred in any scandals, and she's been in politics for a good 30 years. So,
but I must tell you, when
she
it comes
really
to
hasn't. But we wouldn't throw anybody under the bus
but
here.
you see, in my opinion, this is my opinion, Kenny's opinion.
Okay.
Judy Scrooge came very simple. She just came as the next door neighbor. And if you watch that video, you can tell that she spoke like the next door neighbor. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It wasn't. I don't think she came like scripted to like, oh, when they ask this, I'm going to say that. When they ask this, I'm going to say that. And to me as a person, I prefer that kind of approach than somebody that is scripted to say, oh, when they say, say this and say that and so on.
Right.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she has apologized. She took ownership. I don't know.
Well,
We'll
listen.
let everything play out. The pool is happening on the 21. Am I correct?
Yeah, but early voting has already started. Frank, are you going to get in your early vote, or how are you going to make this thing roll out?
I always wait till the last day. I like to do things on the last day, right?
You're like me. I want to, because I believe the election ends when it ends. So I wait till the last minute.
Okay, awesome. Listen, Frank, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your opinion with us.
Thank you. Well job done, guys.
Thank you, Frank. Thanks a lot.
Have a great day. We've got more callers.
Yeah, we got more callers. That was Frank from
we're
Toronto. He was
we're dropping calls.
He was
here.
a little bit detailed. He's specific. It's clear that he watched the video and he knows about it.
I appreciate
one thing that he also said that we have to also remember that Judy has never had any scandal. That's a big point he brought out there.
Yeah.
Because it's just, like we say, let's say, for example, we call it in law, they call it in law, first offender.
Yeah.
If you want to go by the law, right?
Yeah.
So let's take the other line.
Yeah.
There's another call
But the
coming.
other thing also to note is that
Did
he
you
said
get FM? Hold on.
that.
Go ahead. Hi. Who's calling? Where are you calling from?
Hi. This is Faith.
Hi, Faith. Can you turn your radio down over there? We're getting the feedback.
Can I do what? Oh,
Turn your radio down, please. We're getting the feedback.
okay.
Beautiful. Faith, where are you calling from?
Toronto, North York.
Beautiful. So Faith is calling from Toronto, North York.
So, hi Faith, you heard today is open dialogue. Basically, we're allowing people to call in and share their comments on a whole number of topics that we're prepared to discuss today, whether it is the federal election itself, the fact early voting has already started, maybe it's the viral video of the past week with Judy and then eventually apologizing for her comments, which she made right here on our station. Or maybe it's the jobs report that came out. That's a big one. We had a historic jobs report which came out yesterday. What is the topic of concern that you want to discuss today, Faith?
Well, it is an election period, and people need to out and vote.
Can you speak a little louder for us? We're having a little trouble hearing you.
For sure. We people need to get out there and vote. We can't worry about so much what Judy has said, because you are having a conversation with her, and she was comfortable with her conversation with you. It was like, I think the lady is having a chat, right? So if she has offended anyone and she has, apologized, we need to move forward, because when we can't apologize and take ownership of our errors and mistakes, it makes a difference. So we need to really focus on, what it is that we want for our community, and also hold our leaders so that they're accountable for that. If they say they're going to do this, we need to hold them to those commitments. We can't just let them not do what they promised to do during that election period, but we need to strictly hold them to whatever it is that they need.
So, but Faith, do you think that little video that got viral will influence the decision in the polling booth?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Do you think the video that went viral may or can influence the decision in the polling booth?
Yes, it can, but people need to look at the big picture. What are the true issues that are there are affecting us today? And again, we need to be able to rationalize, reason, and look at where it is that we want to go today. And as I said, you've got to hold members of Parliament when it comes to an election and the promises that they make. You have to make them accountable, and you just don't make them accountable by just talking to them on one-on-one. You got to go with your groups. And that's where you get respect from, the members.
I like that. I like that sentiment a lot. Holding our politicians accountable for what they said. Listen, if this election goes any longer than the 21st of October, I think everyone in Ontario or everyone in Canada is going to end up with 40 acres and a mule, because the amount of promises that they are making is unbelievable. The new promises are coming out on the hour here. So all of these promises are being made in order to win votes. Let's understand that clearly. And let's understand also that these federal leaders are politicians, regardless of how sympathetic people have now become towards Jagmeet Singh. And I understand the Jagmeet Singh phenom, and I understand all of that kind of stuff. But they're all politicians.
But keep in mind, there's something that Faith said: hold them accountable. And the question is this: who and how are we holding them accountable? How are they getting away with their promises? Are they actually doing what they promise? And if they do, how do we checkmate that? If they don't, who and how do we checkmate that?
Well, go ahead, Faith.
I think one of our problem is, as Canadian, and I'm a Canadian, so I'm included, we do not follow through. We're so complacent. So if a politician say we're going to do this, and they're not following through, get your community. Go out and talk to your community. Start canvassing now your community to say, hey, this is not happening, and they made this promise to us. We need to make sure that it's happening. And this is how you get your drove of people coming together to be able to address.
But do you think? Do you think something like creating a pressure group will help?
Of course. How do you think laws and bylaws are made and statutes are made? It's by people lobbying. They just they're not made overnight. But when people apply pressure to government for changes, that's the only way it will occur. But we're just too complacent. We want them to do the work, and we're not literally watching them or seeing to it that they're doing what they promised. We walk away. Once they're in, we forget about all of the promises and the commitments that they've made until something goes wrong. Then we remembered, oh my gosh, they did say
powerful.
That. Oh, yes,
That's
they're
powerful.
not holding us accountable for that. But we are, at the end of the day, the government. The people need to understand that. They are the government.
Absolutely.
You put these men and women in these relative positions to do a job. But at the end of the day, we, the people, are the government. And if we can acknowledge that and start applying ourselves, it will make a huge difference as to how our country is managed and run.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling in today, Faith. That was a powerful statement. Fantastic. Kudos to you. So let me ask you, before we take our next caller, lines are jamming up here. Early voting has already started. Are you in or are you out?
I have to be in.
So are you taking advantage of the early voting, or are you going to do like the last caller?
That I know. I got to stick to the evil that I know. It's like, we just don't sit around and not make things happen. We have to make things happen.
Okay, fantastic.
All right, thank you
Kudos
very much.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yes, have a great one.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, you know what is amazing? Everybody weigh in their own perspective.
Right.
But I like the fact that she said we have to hold them, Jacqueline. We get to hold them accountable. And that's why we're here at JBK FM. That's why you have this show, Ordinary People Show.
Wow.
This is a place whereby you bring them, talk to them, interview them, make their promise on record. We can always pull it up later and say, no, you said this is an Ordinary People Show that you're going to buy us a car. I'm just using that as an example. And you then buy the car. So I think she's very, very on point. But one thing that I will do different than she said, I'm not voting till the last day. I'll wait. I want it to play out.
You want to wait?
That's me.
Okay, listen, our lines are jamming up, but keep calling. We're going to get to you. Don't worry about it. Keep calling. We will take your call eventually. Let me talk. I want to throw this out. There was something interesting that took place yesterday. I don't know if you heard about it or if you were listening. So the jobs report came out yesterday. The Canada Jobs Report.
That's to me, Jacqueline. You said it twice already, and I'm thinking, should I say what I think? Should I not? You know what I'm going to say to that? Why is it coming in weeks to the election?
It's standard. It's
So,
just that's
you understand?
it's standard process. This is the time when it would come out anyways. But the point of the matter is these things can make or break an election.
Well, it looks so far good for the increment.
Yeah.
Right? But thank God, what if it was the other way around? It would become a political tool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is why a person like us, we like to wait to the end. We wait until that morning. I'm driving to vote. I'm listening to my radio, listening to what happened. God forbid what didn't happen. That's when I make my decision. Because sometimes there are things that may be happening around you that the government is not approaching and you may not know. Something can trigger it and bring it to your awareness, and that can influence your decision. I am for those that is ready to impart, grow the economy, the unemployment rate, and many other areas. That's what I'm voting for.
Okay, well here's the bottom line though. So over 350,000 jobs have been added to the Canadian economy over the last 9 months. And 350,000 jobs is not a simple number. Matter of fact, it's historical. The last it's a historical number dating back to as far as 2002. Okay, so we've never had a jobs report this fantastic since 2002. Now, a lot of those jobs, of course, were created in Ontario, but if you peel back the layers, you'll find out that a good chunk of those jobs were as a result of people becoming self-employed.
Yeah.
So we've created in Ontario
Did
entrepreneurs.
Break it down to how many of these jobs are small businesses?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So self-employed small businesses are on the rise, and that is contributing to the job numbers as to why we have created so many jobs. And so many people have gone into their own business.
I think what we need to do, we have to peel it back and see how many small businesses are shut down, too. You know what I mean? We have to really, I think we should look into it again, and so that we can analyze it properly. I know the numbers are high, but there are so many details in it that we need to look into.
Well, of course, but it's still positive. So if you are a liberal right now, you're feeling pretty good because they just delivered what could be, the thing that's going to seal the deal for the liberals, which you can't deny. Good economic conditions under any government is going to be a positive thing.
When it comes to job creation, it's always a good thing, but you also have to look at the bubble. Are we creating this job in a bubble that will burst? Are there some unsustainable incentive that's encouraging and engineering people to create jobs just to get the number? There's a lot you need to look into to see if this will sustain a long-term goal or this is premeditated, deliberately programmed to amount to this number at some given point of time.
I don't know about that. That sounds a little bit too conspiratorial for me, but
what's wrong with looking at it back and forth?
I'm not feeling that. I just think that these are just the facts. These are
She
just
brought
the
me here not
statistics.
to agree with me, but that's fine.
The facts are the facts. But the point of the matter is, those are good numbers. And
certainly those are wonderful numbers.
Those are really, really good numbers. But the amount of people that are becoming, that are choosing the entrepreneur route, is just phenomenal, and kudos to you. Obviously, it's all about supply and demand. If more people are going into an entrepreneurial, going down the path of becoming an entrepreneur, there clearly means that there is a demand for your product or service that you're going to be providing, and that will be able to sustain your business venture. And
it's certainly a good news.
That is
to
it
have
works out well.
that number that high. I mean, that's very, very high, to be honest, and it hasn't been that high in a long time. You know? So I think kudos to the government, kudos to everybody that that's weighing for us to achieve this. However, let me talk a little bit about Ordinary People Show. You've had me here twice.
I really apologize for getting so many messages from people that were trying to call in, and we weren't able to get to you. I apologize for that, and I wish we had a longer time with the calls that did come in as well. We didn't really have that much of a time.
We can still take one call. I believe we can still take one call.
We didn't really have that much time allotted for it, but certainly, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, what was I saying?
So, anyways, the whole point of the matter is right now we are in the midst of an election.
I was talking about Ordinary People Show and your show. The thing about your show that really amazed me is the ability to bring ordinary people to do extraordinary things. A lot of people would think that when you are doing extraordinary thing, you have to be a celebrity, you have to be a big politician. On your everyday activity, as long as you are touching life, you are an ordinary person doing extraordinary thing. That's so powerful. I consider myself, an ordinary person doing extraordinary thing.
Of course,
consider you too, that you're an ordinary person doing. So, kudos to all of us that are watching today.
Yeah.
The fact that you support us, the fact that you share our feed, the fact that you invite your friends, you are already an ordinary person doing extraordinary things. In my opinion, an ordinary person is a unique person just like you are.
Yeah. You know what? But that's what the Ordinary People Show is all about, right? It's about celebrating individuals who stopped talking about what they want to do in life and started doing it. And as a result of that, you've then now stepped into the extraordinary realm. And if you're touching people's lives in a positive way, if you are contributing to society in a way in which other people are benefiting as a result of, then you are an ordinary person doing extraordinary things. And those are the type of individuals that we like to showcase here on this show. And that's why we have people who are willing to come in.
Guess who we're having tomorrow on my show? And
share their big politicians, little politicians, business owners, all kinds of people are come here to share their hope and vision.
Tomorrow on my show at 1 p.m., we're going to have the first black in the history of Canada Minister of Affairs in Alberta here live on GBK FM.
Wow, that is fantastic.
It's
Minister of Affairs for Alberta.
Alberta.
Okay, so he's going to be on the...
Casey Madu. He's going to be here live on GBK FM studio. And we're going to talk about almost everyday thing, how he was able to... He was born in Nigeria, raised in Nigeria, schooled in Nigeria, became a lawyer, came here, became a lawyer for 16 years, then got a shot. And now he's representing, I think it's Edmonton West, something like that. He's representing right now. And I spoke to his aide.
Right.
Great people. I read about his portfolio, his bio. Great. And you all will have opportunities to interact with him. Probably we'll take calls tomorrow too.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll figure out if it's okay, we can take calls tomorrow. And we can spend time with him to see. So you can see one thing that I love about Canada, before I leave your show, so you can continue and round up. One thing I love about Canada is the opportunity they give to everybody.
Right.
I just told you somebody was born in Nigeria, raised in Nigeria. Now he's a minister in Canada. God bless Canada. This is a land that gives us equal opportunity. Yes, we strive for betterment. We strive for it to be better. We fight, we complain, black face, yellow face, purple face, whatever face we want to complain about. It's just because we are growth driven. We are for betterment. But overall, when you compare Canada to other countries in the world, I would not trade Canada for anything. This is Canada, the best country in the world.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for
Well, thank you for
sharing.
having
Thank
me.
you for being on the show today.
Thank
It was
you.
great. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up today, let me just first of all, once again, thank everybody for all of the candidates in the Humber River Black Creek. The Honorable Judy Scrow. Certainly want to thank Maria Ajimeri for taking time off the campaign trail to come into the studios and talk to us about their vision for the Humber River Black Creek. We wish each and every candidate the very best outcome for their parties. Mr. Chowdhury was not able to make it today. He's the PC candidate. And we also do wish him the very best as well. We've got another caller. Okay, we'll take one last call before we wrap it up today. I really apologize to those who got jammed up. So who have we got on the line now?
Hey, how you doing? Daru Ramsey here.
Hi, Daru. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Fantastic.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, everyone's good. Well, thank you for calling into the Ordinary People Show. So, Daru, we're going to take you as our last call for the day before we wrap things up. And so just let me give you a little bit of background. So we're talking about a whole plethora of issues today. One of them could be the viral video that went out through as a result of having the Judy Scrow on our show a few weeks ago talking about blackface. We might want to talk about the jobs report. Jobs report came out for Canada yesterday, a fantastic one. Or maybe it's the federal election itself and what it means to you. So what do you want to comment on?
Well, first of all, I actually was doing like a little bit of research over the weeks about the whole blackface thing, and it is quite disturbing in a part where you feel that you put your trust into somebody, and then they hold things back, and then things appear later on when it's pretty much a time that he probably will resign, right? If he does, right? It's at that point. But the other thing that we have to remember that is that we're in a world now today where we have a world of people with all walks of life. Okay, people have pasts, right? Not to say what he did was right. And just to don't quote me on what I'm saying that it's right. But what I'm saying is that people are expecting. They're like, wow, whoa, I can't. Everybody has a past, and it doesn't matter. It could be Andrew Scheer, it could be Mr. Singh, it could be Miss May, it could be Max Bernier. It could be any one of them. They all have a past. Something happened in their past that they're hiding from society or from what can pretty much damage or hurt or cripple their election, right? So we're acting as people as we're surprised that these things are happening with leaders, and
That's a good point. That's a really good point that you bring up. Everybody has a past. And they were able to uncover these 3 incidents in Justin Trudeau's past. But hey, if we dug a little deeper, what would we find in Jagmeet Singh's past? What would we find in Andrew Scheer's past? So yeah, you're absolutely correct. Everybody has a past. So it doesn't sound like this is something that has really upset you too much. Am I wrong or right?
Well, no, because if you see some of the pictures, he's wearing a turban as a black face, but some of the pictures he has actually a picture with 2 other guys wearing a turban. So I don't know if it was a racial thing. He did say he was embarrassed by it, okay? So, he had some type of guilty conscience about it, but, the thing that bothers me is that he lied to his party about it. Like, he didn't admit to it in the beginning, and then he turned around and said, well, I admitted to it now because you know what I mean? But like that's the only thing that kind of bothered me in a sense.
Okay. So you think that he could have came clean with it right from the get-go, and it wasn't until they found all these other videos that he started to fess up. Is that what you're saying?
Well, right from the get-go, what he should have did is he should have came in. And one thing I noticed about these candidates is that they go in there and they say, I'm this, and they talk this way, and they sound so pronounced, and they sound so precise with their words, and they're so accurate. But what about being you? You know, I think people would be less surprised when things come to air if you're just you. You know what I mean? You go in there and you just say, "Hey, my name is so and so. I had a past. I did this. I did that. But here I am. I'm a people person. I want to lead the people because I've experienced it. I've been around. I've been to India. I've been with different races, and I've done these type of things. And I'm not racist. I just like culture. And there's just ways to go around things, right? And
very good point. I love that. Very, very good point. But you know what? Let's be realistic. Let's not fool ourselves. We're dealing with politicians here. These are people who are crafted. They're gifted. On knowing how to say nothing. They know how to say nothing about something. They're skilled in their oratorical skills. Definitely are supposed to be better than average. So
that's right.
They know how to phrase themselves and put themselves together well enough that obviously they can coax, convince, and persuade a number of people to believe in their vision, and this is what the three leaders have been able to do. It's just that some have been able to do it better than others.
That's correct.
So what are you? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So what are you? So it's early voting. We're over our time for the show. We're going to wrap it up now, but early voting has already started, and I'm sure you're going to want to get in on your the early voting maybe, or maybe you're going to wait till the last minute like some of our callers have. But there's a really strong jobs report that came out yesterday that I didn't hear anybody talking about. That I am really excited about. And I think personally that this jobs report is going to be the icing on the cake for the federal Liberals. There's nothing that you can take away from this jobs report that is negative. The vast majority of increase has been in the fact that people have become entrepreneurs. What do you feel about that?
Well, here's the thing, common sense, okay? We know the Liberal Party is a party that is for the people. Yes, they mess up on sometimes it costs the taxpayers and so and so and so. But majority of the taxpayers that we have in this country are people that are either middle class or that have money. Okay, and so it's not where it's really crippling anybody in that sense. So we have a party, the Liberal Party, that is able to provide jobs, that's able to legalize marijuana, medicine, things that are good that can help people. This is a party that helps people, okay? You have a conservative party, and the name conservative, people don't use their common sense. The name conservative is to be conservative, to conserve, okay? So these guys are straight up money makers, okay? Max Bernier was a former cabinet of Stephen Harper, and he was also, I think he was the MP of the Conservative Party. He is now the founder and leader of the People's Party, and he made some very stupid comments and very insulting comments through Twitter tweets and through other things, through immigration and kind of sound kind of racist. So we got to understand that we have parties here that are out for, yes, it's good for our country to have wealth and for us to be, to be healthy and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these people are not doing it for the people. We have to understand that the Liberal Party has continued to show us over the years that they are for the people. And that's
okay. All right, so you've made it pretty clear to how you feel, and we just want to thank you so much for calling in today and sharing that with us. And I suspect, being that you believe in the Liberal Party, that this whole blackface thing, obviously, as you were saying earlier, it didn't faze you. It didn't faze your belief in the Liberal Party at all, and certainly hasn't changed your vote.
No, because I believe that, like I said, that it was the past, and I know that Justin Trudeau tries as the Prime Minister. And I feel that a lot of these things that are coming up is because of the election, and you got to understand it's politics, right? Things are going to come up out the woodwork. Next thing you know, we need to learn we don't learn as people, man. It is politics. It's all the same.
Okay.
We're going to we're going to elect Andrew Scheer, and the next thing you know, the Liberal Party, the NDP party, is going to come up that Andrew Scheer was a diddler or a rape. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know either. But anyways, listen, we just want to thank you for calling in today.
You guys have a wonderful day. Okay?
You too. Take care.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just want to thank all the callers that called in today and shared their opinions or views. We wish we had more time allotted for this. We want to thank the President and CEO, Mr. Kenny Bass, for joining me on the Ordinary People show today, for his commentary as well. It's been a great, great day. I loved it. Wish we could have been here longer doing more of this. And maybe what we'll do is we'll, incorporate more of this as time goes by on the Ordinary People show, more of this type of back and forth with our audience. But until that opportunity does come again, let me share this with you. Early voting has started, so get out there, find out where your early voting locations are for your writing. You can visit electionscanada.ca, and that will tell you exactly where you can go for that. Also, if you're in the Humber River Black Creek community, there is going to be a town hall debate that's going to be held this coming Wednesday, October the 16th. It's going to be held at the York Woods York Woods Platte Mall, and it's going to be on the second floor in the Black Creek Community Center facility that's located on the second floor in the Yorkgate Mall. So that's coming Wednesday, October the 16th, between the hours of 6 p.m., I believe, until 8:30. So make sure you show up there if you want to hear from the candidates directly as to what their vision is for the Humber River Black Creek community. So GBCAM will be there as well, of course, to cover. And we are going to be definitely providing coverage and some content on that debate on Wednesday. As far as today is concerned, GBCAM is on. Again, we're the mouthpiece of the community. We're going to be attending the summit that is going to be held today. Go look us up on our website. Go on our website. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook as well to find out about where GBCAM will be showing up. We probably will be showing up at an event near you very shortly. When you do see us, don't hesitate to come up and say hello. We'd love to get to know you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be signing off on the Ordinary People Show today. Until the same time, same place next week, right here on the Ordinary People Show. My name is Jacqueline Dixon. We wish you the very best week, and get out there and vote, vote, vote. Cheers.
This widely publicized event is expected to bring together a large number of investors, both from Nigeria and in Canada. The summit will see participants from the public and private sectors, including agriculture, alternative energy, solid minerals,